Sup fuckers, welcome to Call the Game, it's Shane here. Yo, we got a special episode today. It's special because the NBA trade deadline just happened and it was wild. Probably the best deadline ever, they're saying. Where my boy Luka, I don't know what I'm going to do with this now because he got traded. But, yeah, I'm just going to go through everything that happened on the trade deadline, and then we'll talk our biggest winners and losers. I'm going over this today instead of next week's episode, mainly because if I talked about the trade deadline next week, the episode would be like an hour and a half. Literally. Alright, so let's get right into it. So, we're only going to do like the significant trades, the ones that actually included a player picks, not like any pick swaps or anything. We're going to start from the Luka trade and then work our way to the most recent trade. Alright. Anyway, alright, let's start with our boy Luka. It was a three-team trade between the Lakers, Mavericks, Jazz. The Lakers got Luka Doncic, Maxi Kleber, and Markieff Morris. The Mavericks get Anthony Davis, Max Christie, who's been cooking. Yo, next week, I think one of our segments next week, I'm going to conduct a study. Players who've gotten drafted by the Lakers but break out once they leave the Lakers. Max Christie might be the next example of that. And then a 2029 first-round pick. They only got a first-round pick in return, which is crazy. And then the Jazz get Jalen Hood-Schifino, who's now cut. 2 2025 second-round picks from the Clippers and either Mavs or Lakers, I forget. So, let's go over some grades. Lakers get an A+. I mean, come on. They got a top 3 player in the world for basically nothing. They could have gotten way more in return. They could have given up a lot more than they did, but yeah. Come on now. A+ for sure. Mavericks, I've seen a lot of D's and F's. I feel like that's crazy. I have a C-. AD is a top 5 big in the league when he's healthy. Max Christie is a really good young 3-and-D wing. It looks like he could be a bucket for them. But they definitely could have gotten more than one first-round pick. So yeah, C- there. And then Jazz, they get a D. They're kind of just there. Like, the Lakers traded Hood-Schifino just because they're getting 3 players in return. Had to cut someone, right? Yeah, Jazz get a D. Next up, we got another big trade that happened later that day. De'Aaron Fox trade. The Spurs get De'Aaron Fox and Jordan McLaughlin. The Kings get Zach LaVine, Sidi Sissoko, who got flipped and then cut by whoever. He was in Valanciunas trade later on. They got 2025 Hornets first round pick. That's probably protected. 2027 Spurs first round pick and 2031 first round pick from the Timberwolves. The 2025 second round pick from the Bulls, and then 2 2028 second round picks from the Bulls and Nuggets. And then the Bulls get Zach Collins, Kevin Huerter, Trey Jones, and a 2025 first round pick from the Spurs. In my opinion, I love De'Aaron Fox, but the Kings easily won this trade. I have them as an A+. They got they didn't get Devin Vassell or Stephon Castle or Sohan from the Spurs. They got Zach LaVine and 3 first-round picks. come on now. You really can't go wrong with that return at all. And then De'Aaron Spurs, I got an A. They didn't have to give up Castle, Vassell, Sohan, one of those guys. They literally all they gave up was the guys chilling on their bench, like in the bottom of the rotation. And then the Bulls, I got a C. Mainly because they didn't really flip any of these guys, which they totally could have. Zach Collins and Kevin Huerter are on some shitty contracts, and then Trey Jones hasn't really done shit, and he's a free agent this offseason. And the Spurs' first-round pick this year, I bet they'd make the playoffs. So this first-round pick will be probably late teens, maybe early 20s. All right, next, talk about my Philadelphia 76ers. Sixers get Quentin Grimes and a 2025 second-round pick, and the Mavs get Caleb Martin. Sixers get a B+. I was thinking an A, but that would be biased. Quentin Grimes, really solid 3-and-D wing, who's having a better year than Caleb Martin, who's he's probably 5-6 years younger, maybe more. They got a second-round pick out of it. And Caleb Martin, he's been solid. I mean, well, he was a little inconsistent for the Sixers, but yeah, I'm giving the Mavs a C-. What are we doing here? They gave up the better player and a second-round pick. Nico Harrison, smoking, buddy. Speaking of Nico Harrison, he just hired a whole security team to guard his house after they traded Luka. Come on, Mavs fans, what are we doing here? Y'all are wildin'. All right, and then. Yeah. All right. Speaking of Jonas Valanciunas and City Sosako, next up we got the Jonas Valanciunas trade. Kings get Jonas Valanciunas. Wizards get City Sosako, who's now cut, and then 2 future second-round picks. The Kings, I'm giving the Kings a B. Jonas Valanciunas is a very solid backup center for them. Really can't go wrong there. And then I'm giving the Wizards a D, mainly because all they got was 2 seconds. City Sosako got cut, so. Yeah. Next up, the Reggie Jackson trade. This trade, I don't know how to feel about this. We traded Reggie Jackson and our first-round pick next year for Jared Butler and 4 second-round picks. 1 in 2027, 1 in 2028, and 2 in 2030. Oh, I thought I heard someone. All right. Wizards get a C, and then Sixers get a C+. I don't know. I think they're both in the C range. I think it's a very even trade. Hopefully we can flip those seconds for a first-round pick, because we don't have our first-round pick for the next 2 years now. Yeah, I don't know how to feel about that. All right, next up, Jusuf Nurkic, who was traded to the Hornets after they traded Mark Williams. We'll get to him in a little bit. The Hornets get Jusuf Nurkic and the Suns' first-round pick next year, and the Suns get Cody Martin, Vasilij Micic, a 2026 second-round pick. I'm giving the Hornets a B+. Nurkic didn't really do shit with the Suns, but they got him. They got a solid bridge center for now, and they got a first-round pick out of it. Beautiful. And then Suns, I'm giving a C. Cody Martin's solid. Micic is ass. The second-round pick, yeah. Hornets easily won this trade. Kevin Porter trade. Bucks get Kevin Porter Jr. and then Clippers get Marjon Buchanan. Straight up. Clippers get an F. Yo, he's been ass. Yeah, you traded him for. Oh my God, sorry. Traded him for Kevin Porter straight up. Didn't even get a pick in return or anything. Yeah, and then I'm giving the Bucks a C, mainly because Kevin Porter Jr., I don't know how he's back in the league. Buddy, I said this a couple weeks ago. Buddy's on his 5th strike. Crazy. Alright. Next up, Bogdan Bogdanovic trade. The Clippers get Bogdan Bogdanovic, and then the Hawks get Terrence Mann, Bones Highland, who just got cut earlier, and then 3 second-round picks for the next 3 years. I'm giving the Clippers a B. Bogdanovich, very solid wing to come off the bench for them. Really can't go wrong there. And then I'm giving the Hawks a D+. I had them a C or C-, but they just cut Bones Highland. Terrence Mann's on a shitty contract. So yeah, D+ for sure. Next up, we got the Kyle Kuzma trade. The Bucks get Kyle Kuzma. This is a 14 trade. Bucks get Kyle Kuzma, Jericho Sims from the Knicks, 2 second-round picks. The Wizards get Chris Middleton, A.J. Johnson from the Bucks, who was a first-round pick this past year, 2028 first-round pick swap. The Knicks get DeLon Wright, the draft rights to Hugo Besson, cash considerations. And then the Spurs get Patrick Baldwin and cash considerations. I'm giving the Bucks a C. I would have them higher, but Kyle Kuzma was ass last night. Yeah. The Wizards get B-. I think they won this trade. Chris Middleton probably will opt in this offseason. At least, let me get that out of here. Fuck off. Why? Okay. The Wizards won this trade. I mean, Chris Middleton's washed, but he'll probably opt in. I mean, at least I would if I were him. They could probably flip that for maybe a future first or something. A.J. Johnson, I mean, he was a first-round pick this past year. Really can't go wrong with that. Even if he's not looking too out of rookie year, we'll get plenty more minutes on the Knicks. God, my nose is so itchy. We'll get way more minutes on the Wizards now because they're the worst team in the league. Yeah, and then really can't go wrong with the first-round pick swap. And I'm sure they'll get the better pick, and because they'll probably be ass still by then. And then the Knicks get DeLon Wright. I'm giving them a D+. DeLon Wright is washed, and then draft rights to a guy who was the 58th overall pick, probably won't be in the league anytime soon. And then the Spurs get Patrick Baldwin. I'm giving him a D+. Hasn't done shit. He's on his 3rd team already in his 3rd season. Right? 3rd season. Oh yeah, no, and he got cut. He got cut too, so yeah. Maybe we'll drop that down to a D. Alright, next up we got the Mark Williams trade. This is such a good trade for both sides. The Lakers get Mark Williams, and then the Hornets get Dalton Knecht, who I don't really like that they had to give him up, but I guess it was between him or Austin Reeves. So, and Knecht and Mark Williams are the same age. Mark Williams is in his 3rd season, so yeah, I guess that makes sense. You give up Cam Reddish, 2031 first-round pick, 2030 first-round pick swap. Don't like how that they had to give up more picks for Mark Williams than Luka, but I'm giving the Lakers an A-. Yo, the Lakers might be a dark horse to win it all this year now. They're definitely a title contender next year for sure. Maybe a dark horse to win it all. But the Hornets get one of the best rookies in the league this year. Cam Reddish, who's, yeah, I think I'm giving A- for both sides. Very good trade for both sides. Hornets don't have a big, I guess, besides Jusuf Nurkic right now, but they'll probably draft like a guy like Kadeem Malak. Yeah. Or Asa Newell, maybe. Alright. Next up, we got the DeAndre Hunter trade. Cavs get DeAndre Hunter. Beautiful trade for them. They can just plug him in right at the 3. And then the Hawks get Karis LeVert, George Niang, the winningest player of the 2020s so far. Fun fact. And then 3 second-round picks. I think that was the next 3 years. And then 2 pick swaps. I'm giving the Cavs an A-. Yo, DeAndre Hunter, such a good pickup to throw at the 3. He's in the running for 6th man of the year. Maybe he'll come off the bench since he's, I think he's the 2nd best odds to win 6th man of the year after Peyton Pritchard right now. I could be wrong, but yeah, he's a stud. A-, and then Hawks get a B. Look, they got a pretty solid return for him. Karis LeVert, George Niang, two solid forwards right there, and then 3 seconds on a pick walk. You really can't go wrong. This is a good trade for both sides, for sure. Next up, we got the Jimmy Butler trade. Jimmy Butler. Warriors get Jimmy Butler, 2 second-round picks, cash considerations. The Heat get Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, Davion Mitchell, 2025 protected first-round pick from the Wizards. And the Jazz get Josh Richardson, who I'm pretty sure is cut, KJ Martin, 2028 second-round pick, or KJ Martin, who was traded to the Pistons from the Sixers. I didn't talk about him earlier, mainly because they ended up including him in this trade. 2028 second, 2031 second, and then the Pistons get, this is a 5-team trade, by the way. Pistons get Dennis Schroeder, who was traded like 5 times who's been traded like 5 times this year. It's crazy. Lindy Waters III, 2031 second-round pick, and the Raptors get PJ Tucker in the 2026 second-round pick. I'm giving the Warriors a B+. I don't think they won this trade. I mean, yeah, they gave him an extension. I don't think giving him that extension was the right move. I mean, well, not that giving him the extension was the right move. I think $50 million might be a little too much for him because he's starting to decline a little bit. But him and Curry might go crazy. They need to fucking go on a run because right now it's looking like they're not even gonna make the playoffs. And then the Heat, I think the Heat won this trade. I got them at an A-. They got a pretty solid return. Andrew Wiggins is having a really good year. Kyle Anderson, but Davion Mitchell, really solid young point guard. Can't go wrong there. The Jazz, I got them at a D. Josh Richardson's cut, so who cares? KJ Martin's a stud. And then they got 2 seconds. And then the Pistons, I got a C. Dennis Schroeder's a dog. Solid backup point guard there. And then Lindy Waters the third, solid wing. And then Raptors, who I think lost this trade. I got him at a D-. PJ Tucker, I don't think he's played a single game this year. And he's making $11 million. I don't think he has yet, but I feel like if the Raptors were smart, they would buy him out. Yeah, Wikipedia doesn't even have a jersey number for him yet. Oh yeah, he got traded 3 times in 5 days. Sports Illustrated said he's probably not staying there. Yeah, he hasn't played a single game this season. I feel like he's gonna get cut and probably won't sign anywhere. PJ Tucker, it might be time to retire, buddy. I'm not gonna lie. Next up, we got the Brandon Ingram trade. I like this trade. I don't think the Raptors made a smart move trading for him, considering where they're at. The Raptors get Brandon Ingram, and the Pelicans get Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, a first-round pick, and a second-round pick. I think... Wait, hold on. What year? I don't think... I didn't put what year. Hold up. Hold on. 2026. It was a 2026 first-round pick. And might have been a second-round pick that same year. Alright. I got the Raptors. I was between B, somewhere in the B, C range. I got them at a B-. I like the Brandon Ingram acquisition. If they were in the play-in range, I think they're like 5 games out from the play-in still. I feel like they're going to push. They could push for a play-in spot. I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. I'm not going to lie. And they gave up a decent amount. I guess they could have got, the Pelicans could have gotten more for, but Brandon Ingram's been, goddamn, alright. Brandon Ingram's been out for a while, and he wasn't going to re-sign with the Pelicans anyway. If the Raptors let Brandon Ingram walk, this is going to end up being a really bad trade for them. So yeah, I got B- on both sides. Last but not least, we have the Marcus Smart trade. Wizards get Marcus Smart, Colby Jones, Alex Len, and the Grizzlies' first-round pick this year. The Grizzlies get 2 seconds, Marvin Bagley, Johnny Davis, and the Kings get Jake LaRavia. The Wizards easily won this trade. They get an A. They took on a former Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, he's been an offensive liability these days, but they could flip him this offseason just like Chris Middleton. Colby Jones, he was a first-round pick a couple years ago. Might be solid. And then Alex Len, I don't know how he's still in the league. He sucks. And then they got a first-round pick from the Grizzlies. They're just racking up picks out here. I'm giving them an A. Grizzlies, I'm giving them a D. They got two former draft busts, and then 2 seconds as well. And then the Kings, I'm giving them a B. Jake LaRavia, he could be solid for them. He's been hit or miss the past couple of years, his third season, but he could be solid. You never know. All right, that's all the trades we're talking about. Let's start. Now we'll go back and forth, alternate. All right, coming in at number 5, biggest winner, Shams. Yeah, I know, not a team. I gotta include Shams. Yo, Shams was locked the fuck in, yo. Think about all these trades. He was go out. He was like, bam, 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 bam. Literally. Come on. I can't not include him. Come on now. The perfect Woj successor. Yo. Prayers up to my man Woj. Pretty sure he has cancer now. Prayers up. Hopefully he gets better. Alright, the 5th biggest loser. The Raptors. Yeah, I know. They traded for Brandon Ingram. But it wasn't a smart move for them. Considering they're the 13th seed right now, I feel like they could push for a playing spot. But if he walks this offseason, this is going to backfire on them. They were much better off tanking, in my opinion. Yeah, the Raptors at 5. The 4th biggest winner, the Heat. They finally get rid of Jimmy Butler. The Jimmy Butler drama is over, and they got a decent return for him. Yeah, no, I like the Heat for sure. Big winner. Andrew Wiggins is a dog. Davion Mitchell is a solid young point guard as well. For sure. The Heat won the Jimmy Butler trade. Come on now. At 4, 4th biggest loser, the Grizzlies. They gave up Marcus Smart, gave up on a young player, Jake LaRavia. They traded a first-round pick with Marcus Smart, and they took on 2 former draft busts. Yeah, I just don't see what they're doing here. So Grizzlies at 4. All right, the 3rd biggest winner, the Spurs. They finally got their point guard for the future. And they didn't have to give up Castle, Vassell, or Sohan. And they still got Chris Paul, too, as well. Yo, I don't know if they're going to make a run. I don't know if they'll get a top 6 seed. They're miles behind right now, but they're going to make the play-in. And I feel like they're going to snag the 7th or 8th seed. I don't know why. Next week's episode, we're going to have our mid-season playoff predictions as well. Alright, the 3rd biggest loser, the Bulls. They took on the Spurs bench guys and a first-round pick. They didn't get... And also, they re-signed Lonzo Ball, who's been ass this year. And then they didn't trade Vooch when they should have. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing. Yeah, for sure, Bulls biggest loser. Alright, the 2nd biggest winner, the Kings. They got Zach LaVine, Jonas Valanciunas, and they took on 3 first-round picks. Yeah, come on now. The Kings were rolling. I thought, they traded De'Aaron Fox. I thought they weren't going to make the play-in. They're looking solid. They look like they could snag a play-in spot right now. I mean, I guess they could run... They don't really have a point guard. Well, I guess they could run Malik Monk there. But, yeah, for sure the Kings, 2nd biggest winner. The 2nd biggest loser, the Mavericks. And the reason why I don't have them at 1 is because there's one team that is a way bigger mess than they are. They traded a top 3 player for an injury-prone big. I mean, he's been fully healthy this season, but it's only a matter of time. They could have gotten a lot more in return for Luka. And they also traded a young 3-and-D wing, gave up a second-round pick with him for Caleb Martin. Like, yeah, no, Nico Harrison was definitely not cooking, for sure. Alright. The biggest winner. The Lakers. Come on now. They easily won the trade deadline, and it's not even close. They brought in Luka and Mark Williams. They sent off AD. They sent off Max Christie. They sent off a first-round pick. Well, 3 first-round picks. Dalton Connect, gone. And then fucking Cam Reddish, gone. They didn't? Yeah. They got in 2 solid young guys. Well, Luka's 25. Yeah, he's still pretty young. Mark Williams, solid young big. And you'd think they'd give up a lot more than they did, but nope. Yeah. Lakers, they're a dark horse to win it all this year. I don't know if I'm still riding the Thunder, but watch out for the Lakers the second half of the year. Luka looks like he's been balling. Yeah. Sounds like the Mavericks were just coming up with a bunch of excuses to justify them trading him. Yeah, doesn't look like he's 270 to me. I don't know. I could be wrong. And then, the biggest loser, the Suns. They traded Yusuf Nurkic and gave up a first-round pick with him. What else did they do? They tried to trade Bradley Beal. That didn't happen. They were looking at trading KD. That didn't happen either. So, the Suns' locker room is easily a hot mess right now. It might be some toxic energy going on over there. I feel like the Suns are going to blow it up this offseason. I don't know if they're going to make the play-in anymore. It's clear as day that Beal and Devin Booker are just not a good fit together. And KD's clearly on his way out as well. And he probably would have gotten traded if he didn't turn down the trade to the Warriors. But, yeah. Alright. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching this special episode. If you see this before the episode I recorded last week, then YouTube can go fuck themselves. Peace.